Hi folks, Puffin here, back with another Puffin's Pothead Passages. It's a beautiful day here in Colorado, and I was just about to play some Wee Ring Fit, but I decided since I just got a really good buzz off some Live Well herb, I think it's Chemical Mustache is their strain, and the store is Live Well, Livwell. They've always got great stuff there for $120 an ounce. That's with the tax included. So anyway, I just had a great buzz going out in this beautiful morning, and I was about to play some Wee Ring Fit, but I decided instead of wearing down the crest of that beautiful buzz, I would use that to do another Puffin Spothead Passages. So I'm using the Bible again and turning to the Gospels verse, which I got Luke, verse 1:21. And the people waited for Zacharias and marveled that he tarried so long in the temple. And when he came out, he could not speak unto them, and they perceived that he had seen a vision in the temple. For he beckoned unto them, and remained speechless. And it came to pass that as soon as the days of his ministration were accomplished, he departed to his own house. After these days his wife Elizabeth conceived, and hid herself 5 months, saying, Thus hath the Lord dealt with me in the days wherein he looked on me, and take away my reproach among men. Who knows what that's about? I'm kind of picking this up in the middle, so who knows where she had reproach among men, or I don't know even what that means. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God into the city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, in the house of David. And the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee, blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of situation this should be. So I guess this is the introduction of Mary. In the 6th month. Let me continue. So when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord of God shall give unto him the throne of his father David. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and his kingdom there shall be no end. Of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing as I know not a man? I guess that means because she's a virgin. And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Ghost shall come unto thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age. This is the 6th month with her, who was called barren. For with God nothing shall be impossible. And Mary said, Behold, the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me. Behold, the handmaid of the Lord. I guess that she's saying, I'm the handmaid of the Lord. Behold me. Be it unto me according to thy word. I'll do as you say. And the angel departed from her. And Mary arose in those days, and went into the hill country with haste into a city of Judah, and entered into the house of Zacharias, and saluted Elizabeth. So she went to live with Elizabeth. So this is like the 4th time I've turned to this page. I mean, maybe it's the way my Bible is shaped, but I have turned to this verse, Luke, chapter 1, verse 21, and the people waited for Zacharias and marveled that he tarried so long at the temple. Let me just go back, because every time I turn, I read to that verse. And let's see. So Zacharias, it looks like, is visited by an angel. Let's see. They had no child. I guess I should start at the beginning. It's already 5 minutes in, but I got a little bit of time if you have time. Forasmuch as many have taken in hand to set forth in order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed among us, meaning many have written about this, that all the things that we believe, our community, even as they delivered them unto us, which from the beginning were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word, meaning we've heard these from the people who were there. It seemed good to me also, having had perfect understanding of all things from the very first, to write thee in order, most excellent Theophilus. So that's interesting. This is all like a letter to Theophilus, that thou might, or there's a character Theophilus, that there's either the actual person named Theophilus, or he's just calling anyone who reads this Theophilus. Kind of interesting if that's the case, if people wrote like that back in those days. But probably maybe it's a letter to a guy named Theophilus. Wonder who that was. That thou mightest know the certainty of these things wherein thou hast been instructed. So maybe Theophilus was already learning about it, but he's getting the full report here. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, of the course of Abia. I don't know what a course is or what Abia is. Who knows? A school, a community, a land. Who knows? I mean, someone knows, but I don't, so, we can look that up maybe. Thanks, Google. Thanks, scholars. Okay, he's of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. So maybe Abia is a bloodline, and Aaron is a bloodline. And so Zacharias' wife, Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless. So like very holy, devout people for the standards of the time. And they had no child because that Elizabeth was barren. Because that Elizabeth was barren. I don't know what that wording means. It's like, does that mean the same thing? Or is that supposed to be, this is because of Elizabeth? And they were now well stricken in years. So they're old. So you're not expecting to have a kid when you're old anyway. And it came to pass that but they mentioned that she was barren. So, I mean, maybe they didn't understand, just like people today still don't understand that it's often, the like sperm count or something like that. But there's a lot of like misogyny, I think, in the culture. And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before God in the order of his course, I guess that's a comma, it's pretty small print, sorry. According to the custom of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Lord. And the whole multitude of the people were praying without at the time of incense. So everyone's outside praying while he's doing the incense. And there appeared unto him an angel of the Lord standing on the right side of the altar of the incense. So that's why it took a long time to come out of the temple. He's been in there making the incense. Angel appears to him in that conversation. That's why when I pick it up a little bit later, he comes out and people are like, why can't you tell us what happened? This is what happened. It's interesting. The angel of the Lord was standing at the right side of the altar of the incense. Then chapter 1, verse 12. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. But the angel said to him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John. Okay, let me just break in right here. And when I talk about angels and aliens, I talk about how aliens are good. And people assume angels are good, but look, people are scared of them. The two first people who the angels appear to, Mary and Zacharias, in the Gospel of Luke, they're scared of the angels because they have a imposing presence. Now we're scared of the idea of aliens. Again, it would be an imposing presence. There's a respect that is due to someone who's managed to travel the stars. But we don't need to be scared of them. And I think the same thing applies. I'm just going to throw that out there as like a parallel between aliens and angels. And there's a lot of them. But anyway, back to the story. I'm writing a book about angels, ghosts, aliens, and fairies, but that'll come out later. So, the angel said to him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John. And thou shalt have joy and gladness, and many shall rejoice at his birth. For he shall be great in the sight of the Lord, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink, and he shall be filled with the Holy Ghost, even from his mother's womb. And many of the children of Israel shall he turn to the Lord their God. And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias, and turn the hearts of their fathers into the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready the people prepared for the Lord. I met a guy once who was talked about maybe his son or a friend of his who was preaching from the age of 5. So this whole idea of people being filled with the Spirit from birth is still going on. He should go before in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts and fathers of the children, the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. And Zacharias said unto the angel, Whereby shall I know this? For I am an old man, and my wife well stricken in years. I like that phrase. And the angel answering said unto him, I am Gabriel, that stand in the presence of God, and am sent to speak unto thee, and to show thee these glad tidings. So I guess they knew who Gabriel was back in those days. And behold, thou shalt be dumb and not able to speak. Let me go ahead and let you know you won't be able to speak until the day that these things shall be performed, because thou believest not my words, which shall be fulfilled in their season. Oh, so when the people waited for Zacharias, this is where I picked up, and marveled that he tarried so long in the temple. And when he came out, he could not speak unto them. And they perceived he had vision in the temple. So he couldn't speak for 9 more months. And he beckoned to them and remained speechless. So I think that whole idea about remaining speechless, I'll leave it at that for now, just having read this and thrown in some thoughts. It's an interesting thought that in these 2 cousins who both conceive 2 important characters, John the Baptist is Elizabeth's son, and Jesus is Mary's son. And Jesus, the idea is you're divinely conceived. John the Baptist is not specified. He could have conceived, and he's letting him know, and because he didn't believe it, he's speechless. These miracles are kind of interesting in their variety and subtlety and nuance. So I think it would be fun to talk about that some more. I'm going to leave that at this for now. Maybe you've got ideas in comments. But I guess from my perspective as kind of an outsider, I don't know if it's necessary for Mary to be a virgin, if that appears in all the things, or if that's kind of an anti-sex, anti-woman type of perspective. So I've been curious about that, if that's something that they have adopted, Christianity adopted from other traditions. It seems like here it's pretty early on in the lore. But if it was adopted from other traditions to sell the religion, if it's an essential feature, what it really means, if it is misogynistic, or if that's my misunderstanding of their understanding at the times, things like that. Just want to throw that out there because I've always had that impulse around the Virgin Mary, and not to insult anyone who feels strongly about that, because that's a beautiful, amazing thing too, if that is important. But why is it important? What's important about it? And I think that the comparison between Elizabeth and Mary in this situation, because maybe John was not maybe divinely conceived, even if the Holy Ghost was with him from birth. Maybe he was more naturally conceived. Maybe that's why Zacharias is stricken dumb, because he doesn't believe it, because he's also an old man. But he doesn't say, we haven't been doing these things because we're old. He says she hasn't conceived before. So just throwing that out there. I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.